Well, today is the first full day of summer, and it's going to feel like it. Chelsea mentioned those heat indices ranging anywhere from 100 to 111 degrees, depending on where you live in Central Texas. Those are feel-like temperatures and have prompted a heat advisory. Joining us with some heat safety advice is Dr. Ryan McCorkle. He's an emergency room medicine physician with St. David's Medical Center. Good morning, doctor. Thank you for being with us.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
First, let's talk about a few statistics regarding heat exhaustion and heat safety. More than 65,000 heat-related emergency room visits happened last year, and nearly 9,000 hospitalizations due to heat. Why is that?
Every year, people seem to be unprepared for the kind of heat that we're going to encounter, especially here in Central Texas. Of course, people need to be taking precautions. We don't see people doing that enough, especially now we're getting back out into events around a lot of people, concerts, sporting events, and we're seeing a lot of people coming from those with more heat-related injuries because we're not hydrating well enough. We're not wearing the loose-fitting, lightweight wicking clothing, and taking breaks in a cool environment. Mm-hmm. So that's ended up with a lot more people in the emergency department and getting admitted to the hospital for heat-related illness.
You mentioned some of what we can do when we're outside: loose-fitting clothing, make sure to drink plenty of water. Lightweight clothing that is it is not dark colored. Don't forget about a hat and, of course, sunscreen. So those are some preventative measures. But talk a little more about the importance of staying hydrated and drinking water.
Absolutely. We want people to be drinking steadily before they go out, as they're out, taking frequent breaks, drinking water, because dehydration is the #1 reason why people end up getting hospitalized and having to stay. It can affect their kidney function. They can lose consciousness. Staying hydrated is probably the most important thing you can do to battle becoming dehydrated out in the heat. And besides taking those regular breaks and cooling off and wearing that light-fitted clothing, staying hydrated is what is going to do the most for the internal environment of your body, keeping you hydrated and keeping you out of the hospital.
Hydrate throughout the day. Start with 8 ounces of water and then keep going. That way you don't find yourself at a point where you are not hydrated. In terms of symptoms of heat exhaustion, what we have here is heavy sweating, paleness, muscle cramps, tiredness, weakness, also dizziness, headache, upset stomach or vomiting, and fainting. At what point does one need to seek medical attention?
If you lose consciousness, if you're vomiting and can't hold down those fluids to rehydrate yourself, those are the folks that we need to see in the emergency department. We can put the IV access in, give you IV fluids, give you medicines for the nausea, get you rehydrated. Those are the people that need to come in. That's the heat exhaustion. We would prefer to see people in that stage before they progress to the heat stroke symptoms, where they stop sweating, they get altered mental status, and that can be a more serious, life-threatening event. So if you have the early symptoms you talked about, where you're just lightheaded, you're sweating a lot, then that's the time to take a break and start hydrating, get into a cool area, get into air conditioning, getting in a misting environment. But if they progress to the point where they're vomiting, they're becoming altered, those people need to come into the ER and we'll take good care of you.
Dial 911 is the easiest way to do it.
Yes, that's right.
All right, there you have it.
In the emergency department.
So don't forget to drink your water, start hydrating right now. Dr. Ryan McCorkle with St. David's Medical Center. We appreciate your time so much. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.